please welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. NBA Bet. We're out here. Little Tuesday. And listen, full disclosure, woke up this morning. Early this morning. It was like 3 a.m. And I made a mistake. I made the mistake of looking at my phone, which I'm usually pretty good about not doing. But it was really dark in the apartment. I was like, I'll use the phone for some lighting. And just happened to see I had a bunch of notifications because James, and I just thought, I saw a little rumbling about some James Harden rumors before I went to bed, and I was like, this is just horse hooey. So anyways, we're going to dive into that. We get some action from last night, and then we're dog bowl hunting again. We've got another dog bowl. And before we go dog bowl hunting, if you guys recall, the last dog bowl that we had was Friday. And it was 6th round Jokic, right? We happened, shut up Mike Weisberg, found this little Jokic rabbit hole. It was exciting. 6th round Nikola Jokic did not work out for me. But apparently, the guy who won first and second in the dog bowl was a cheater or something. I don't know if it's cheater, not a real account, bots. I don't know what it was. The guy who won the first 2 seats lost the first 2 seats. So our guy, NBA TST, Mr. TST himself, is going to the dog bowl. Punched a ticket. That's too big now. 2 NBA hitters. We got Magikarp out there. We got NBA TST out there. Also, I saw Sanjay Rich. Up on that leaderboard last night. So a lot of fun stuff. But anyway, shout out our guy TST. Go check out Bagel with Locks this morning for a better feel for tonight's slate. It's going to be a mess. It's 10 games. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. All right, let's go. Let's talk about this Harden stuff. So apparently James Harden, and I rarely quote clutch points, but I'll share this tweet here from our guy Brett Siegel, okay? Our guy Brett Siegel tweets this out last night. Its league sources told Clutch Points that tonight's news was brought forth by James Harden and his camp as the Clippers were stunned to find out about him wanting out. Cavs stuff is certainly at the forefront of the talk right now around the league. Still a lot to sort through. So, let's go over this a little bit here. Excuse me. Let's go over this a little bit. So, allegedly, I don't know why we're saying it like it's legal. Allegedly, Cavs were in talk before the DeAndre Hunter to the Kings, right? They were in talk about getting DeAndre Hunter. It was going to be something like John Collins and Bogdan Bogdanović for DeAndre Hunter. Like, who gives a shit about that deal? But okay, sure. That ends up not going down, right? He goes to, like the Bean Boys, Dennis Schroeder, Keon Ellis. Okay. So now, James Harden apparently wanted an extension maybe before the season started, like 2 years, $80 million. I don't know if they've had conversations offline because right now they can't extend James Harden anyways. They can't extend him until after the offseason. So apparently Harden wants an extension, and then I guess Steve Ballmer is only likes paying somebody else around the edges, only one person per team, so he can't do it for Harden, only for Kawhi. that they're not going to do the extension. So then James Harden is like, hey, get me out of here. And now, so let's first start with the rumor that it'd be basically Garland. Well, Shams reported too, Common Man, that it would be Garland for Harden, essentially. Okay. Can I just ask, why is anybody doing this? Why is anybody doing this? Like, listen, I know Darius Garland has had his issues staying healthy. You can look at some of his postseason performances, even though I think those are directly tied to his inability to stay healthy, right? He's had a tough time staying healthy. But you're telling me Cleveland is looking around and they're like, what if we got older, right? Like, what if we turned 26-year-old Darius Garland and turned it into 36-year-old James Harden, however old he is, right? What? Why? Have they? They're like, they don't love Darius Garland's postseason performance history, but they're like, you know whose postseason performance history cooks? James Harden. What are we talking about? Why would we do this? Cleveland, 8-2 in their last 10. They're winning games without Garland, without Mobley right now. And like, I get the idea, if they want to say, hey, we don't think the two Smurfs of Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, when we get into a postseason, having those two as a backcourt is putting too much pressure on our front court, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, to make that up defensively, right? I can hear that conversation. But if you have real title aspirations, why add the guy who famously takes turds once the calendar turns to April? If you are a regular season inning eater and that's what you need, we're like, we just need somebody right now to average 18, 14, and 6 for the rest of the regular season and play 35 minutes a game and play 92% of the games. James Harden is your man. James Harden is your man. But you're telling, like, why would you want that post? If you are a real title contender, why the fuck would you want that? I don't understand. I don't even know. Now, I wonder if we hear from Cleveland a little bit later today that they're like, yeah, man, we're not interested in that. We're not interested in that. And maybe it's just James Harden's camp floating it to try to, like, wish cast it. I think this is really dangerous territory for Cleveland too, to have the vibes that they have right now. Because they, like, yes, their core is young-ish, right, with Donovan and Mobley and Allen and Garland. But like their title window is now. As that team gets more and more expensive, it's going to be harder and harder to keep that core together to win a title. So it's not like it's got to be this year or next year, essentially. And by floating this out here, if the trade doesn't happen, which I don't think it's going to happen, I don't understand it. I don't think it's going to happen. All you've done is just like thrown a nuke into Darius Garland's mental health. I mean, not mental health is too strong, but you know what I mean? Like, do you think Garland's sitting back, he's rehabbing, trying to get back onto the court, while his team is slowly starting to move up to the standings, just 2 games out of the second seed in the Eastern Conference, right? After being like garbage the first half of this season, they're now like, they can see the 2 seed in front of them. And now he's like working his ass off trying to get back. And then we're like, hey man, what if we put you somewhere else though? And then it doesn't happen, because I don't think it's going to happen. And if they don't move him for Harden, like, I don't know what other Garland trade is out there unless they're still floating around the Giannis streets, which I don't think they are. Then, like, this just sets up bad vibes, right? Why do this? Why do this? And I saw a regular say something about the Cavs cleaning room for LeBron James, but that's not happening this season either. I know there was a report about, I think people were misunderstanding what Jake Fisher was saying about how, like, the Lakers and LeBron seem to be on the same page that LeBron is not going to be a Laker next year. And we've known that since the beginning. No one thinks he's coming back to LA. We think he's probably got one more year in him. He's going to go do it somewhere else for a lot less money, most likely. And then this is Luka's team now. That's not surprising. It would be surprising if they traded him in the next couple of days, and I don't think that's what they're going to do. So again, Cleveland has to be ready to go now. Cleveland has to be ready to go now. And you're saying Harden is gone after 1 year. That's fine, but you're telling me you're going to trade Garland. Harden wants a trade because he wants an extension. So you're going to get rid of the guy you have under contract that's much, much younger with higher upside for James Harden. It makes no sense on the Cleveland side. And this isn't even, we haven't even gotten to the Clippers side. And on the Clippers side of stuff, I feel like I'm turning into like old man yelling at the clouds and that I'm yelling at the younger generation. But here's the thing. Harden and I, close enough in age that this is the same generation. This is like the most, like, and I know I'm talking about somebody else's money. There's whatever. This is the most selfish thing I can remember in a long time, right? Like, he's still got another year of like 40 plus million or whatever, or the Clippers have the birds right, whatever it is. Your team was off to one of the worst starts in there, or not one of the worst starts in history. They were like 6 and what? 6 and 18, 6 and 12, whatever the fuck the record was. Since then, they rattled off like a 15 and 3 or 16 and 4 run, right? They've moved up into, like, it looked like 3 weeks ago we were out here saying, wow, can you believe Oklahoma City's going to get the number 1 overall pick because they have the Clippers pick? And now they are 23 and 26. They are 7 and 3 in their last 10. They are just 3.5 games back behind the Warriors, who are falling apart. They're without Jimmy Butler, without Steph Curry right now. They're only, they're like 5.5 games back or 6.5 games back behind the Suns. That's probably unlikely, right? But they finally like righted the ship. This seems like you've got like you're going to get out of the play-in most likely, and then of course, yeah, you're having to play like OKC in round 1, but you still have Kawhi, Harden, and Zubats like that. You're playing good basketball, and your thought is, while all the vibes are good, you're like, hey, you know how you couldn't? First of all, you couldn't even give me the extension. You're not extension eligible yet, but you didn't get like a handshake deal. Which, by the way, you should have learned by now. Those handshake deals are garbage anyway. Shout out Daryl Morey and the Philadelphia 76ers. But you didn't get that. So you're like, you know what? 48 hours before the trade deadline, while the vibes have people have stopped talking about aspiration. Since the aspiration stuff, we've got war criminals in Memphis, and we've got Epstein list Josh Harris, right? There's other shit they're focusing on. Vibes are finally fine. And then you go and nuke this like 48 hours before the trade deadline. What are you doing? And apparently Harden's like, well, I got some interest in Atlanta. No shit, James. I've got some interest in Atlanta and Minnesota. Now, Minnesota would make a ton of sense, but from all reporting from the Steinline and Jake Fisher, sounds like Minnesota's not really interested because they're saying, hey, we'd rather have Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's proven he can win playoff games, versus James Harden, who's proven he can't win playoff games. And Atlanta's not going to do it either. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense. I don't know. I mean, obviously, he's got more value than what we've seen with other guards that have hit the market, like Trae Young, who was traded for peanuts, and John Moran, who just can't get traded. He's got more value than that. But again, this is a short-term rental because you don't know if he's going to sign, like, he's going to be a free agent soon. So the timing sucks. It's just time again. We've been proven that, James Harden doesn't care about winning. He doesn't. He doesn't care. Like, that's not important to him. I'm not saying he doesn't want to win. I'm sure he wants to win. But the want and the care feel different. And I'm not trying to be like this, like, like a 1970s, like, after school movie basketball coach, or like Bill Simmons in The Secret and The Disease of More and all that shit. I'm not trying to do that. But this is like, how many more cracks at the apple does Harden have at this? Cracks at the apple? Bites of the apple does Harden have at this? He's getting to that point in his career where, and again, I honestly credit to him because I didn't think he was going to age gracefully as an NBA player. He's proven to still be like very, very useful. But like, you're with Kawhi Leonard, who is healthy for the first time in forever. Kawhi, all-star snub, looks like one of the best players in the league again on both sides of the court. You have beaten good teams on this stretch. Like, when are you going to get a better opportunity here? And so the timing is just the most selfish bullshit. And I know, like, cynically, and I'm sure somebody like Nate Jones will tweet out, like, this is the cost of business, you got to look out for number one. And and sure, again, I'm not trying to count other people's money, but like, dog, at some point, and you know what? Honestly, this is on us. This is on us because we've seen him do it in Houston. We've seen him do it in Brooklyn. We've seen him, Philly, he didn't really do it, but we've seen him do it at multiple spots already where he's just kind of said, nah, I'm done here. I'm done here. And then we're like, how could you do this? And he's like, bro, I've shown you. This is what I do. But man, I like legit. I don't feel bad for the Clippers. But I don't know. I don't think he gets moved. I don't see a team doing it. Again, I would be stunned if Cleveland risked this. This feels like such a dumb move. And like Cleveland seems like they've got their stuff in order right now. This would be I can't imagine any Cleveland fan being like, oh, bring on James Harden. And like, I understand you're like, the addition of James Harden is right. Like, well, we're filling a gap of somebody who's not even playing. Darius Garland can't even stay healthy. Sure. I get it. But like, how many times do you need to see him take a full-on diarrhea in the playoffs before you're like, maybe this isn't the right fit? He's even tricked us a couple of times. If you remember that 76ers Celtics series a couple years back, right? No Embiid. Oh, the Celtics are going to run through this. Celtics in 4. And then Harden, I think it was like game 1 drops 40. And then it was like game 5 drops like 48. Something crazy like that. And then disappears. We saw it last season in the first round against Nuggets. Just kind of MIA. So if you're Cleveland, you're not a serious organization if you do this. You really aren't. And again, I'll have a conversation about moving off of Garland. But to swap Garland for Harden, what are we doing? What are we doing? What about Harden to Atlanta? Said he's interested in them. Why would Atlanta do this? Atlanta's got all the trade assets in the world. Why would they turn around and say, like, we should get Harden in here? And, like, a guard does make sense because of Dyson Daniels and CJ McCollum. Like, it does make sense. But why? Atlanta's already kind of been like, nah, hey, we're good. If I'm Atlanta, we've got all of the flexibility in the world right now. We've got this young core of Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker taking a step, Onyeka Okongwu, who's got his teeth back now. They're going to be able to move off of Porzingis, and that's going to open up some money. They're going to move off of McCollum. That's going to open up some money. Why not go get somebody that can help you win playoff games instead of somebody that can help you get to the playoffs and then lose playoff games? So Atlanta's not going to do it. Minnesota's not going to do it. Cleveland's not going to do it. And so what's going to end up happening is Harden's not going to get moved, and then he's going to come back to the Clippers and probably pout. Maybe puts on the fat suit again. Haven't seen that in a while. Like, I don't understand, man. I do not understand. Just crazy. Now, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun, because what if it's not about contract extensions? This is the only thing that could save credibility for me for James Harden. This is the only thing that could happen. The All-Star break's right around the corner, right? Maybe some league sources, maybe somebody in the NBA sprinkling out a little bit of alpha to the Clippers organization. Maybe the NBA investigators are actually doing something, even though mum's been the word since the Pablo Torre Finds Out episode dropped at the beginning of the season. Even though we've heard shit all from the NBA about literally anything serious outside of Paul George mixing medications. That's the only time they've had any sort of ruling this entire year is on Paul George and taking care of his mental health. But what if they're waiting until the All-Star game? All-Star break's a couple weeks away, being held in Los Angeles at the Clippers Toilet Bowl. Okay? What if the game ends, all of the private jets fly out at the same time, we get a couple days off, people are on beaches, Shams tweet, bang! Kawhi Leonard suspended for the rest of the season. Clippers, massive penalties. Maybe they know that's coming. And if that's the case, and maybe they had a conversation with James, right? And they're like, hey, listen, man, we can't let the people know this, So why don't we go get a couple second-round picks for you? Let's move James. Let's move James now. We'll get a couple of picks, not second. I don't know what the cost would be. A couple of picks now. Get something back for this, and we'll get you in a new spot. We'll get you in a new spot. You don't want to extend here anyways. We're not going to be eligible to play in the playoffs. We're not going to be able to do anything like that. We're not going to have any money. We're not going to have any draft picks. Why don't we just get you out of here now? If that happens, the first 15 minutes of this show are garbage. And I will have way more respect for everybody involved. I would just respect everybody. I would be all in for this. All in for it. He might be in the Epstein files, says Galactic. All right. Maybe. I mean, you know what? That sounds crazy. But then Josh Harris, Philadelphia 76ers. It's not that crazy. Rich people are gross. Just a wild start, though. I didn't expect that. I thought we were going to be talking more about Giannis Antetokounmpo, who, according to some reports, I think from Jake Fisher as well, it sounds like Giannis is still going to stay put and then get moved in the season. That's kind of what it sounds like. More likely is that Harden is just selfish, but you never know. Yeah, I mean, do I think? I think we're turning the dial a little bit. I think we're turning the tinfoil hat a little bit more. I think the more likely, Windhorse radar. I think more likely the obvious thing is the answer. More likely the obvious thing is the answer. But I don't think it's that crazy to think that. I think the more surprising thing out of all of this would be Adam Silver to put his foot down. So if you were to pick one thing out of everything we just laid out that seems the craziest of them all, like, oh, that's too crazy, Mike. That's too crazy. I don't believe that. It would be Adam Silver putting his foot down. The only time Adam Silver has put his foot down is when we had audio evidence. Audio evidence of what's that shitty guy's name? The former Clippers owner. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name because all I'm seeing is Ballmer's fat face. That's not nice. It's not a fat face. His big face. I'm forgetting the guy's name. But anyways, it took the most amount of evidence. It took teams. It took Sterling. Thank you, Donald Sterling. It took the Los Angeles Clippers being like, hey, we might not play this playoff game today. Okay. It took all of that for an owner to get bounced. So I don't know. I don't think we see that. I don't think we see Adam Silver do that. I think the more likely answer is what we've seen from James Harden his entire career, and that's when, things seem to be going well. Honestly, can we get James Harden a BetterHelp promo code? Because, man, the man needs therapy. The man needs therapy, right? You're allowed to be happy, James. You're in Los Angeles. Do you know how cold it is on the Northeast right now? You're telling me you'd rather go play home games in Cleveland than in Los Angeles? Come on. It's cold. It's cold. Also, the expectations and the lights are not bright on that Los Angeles team. You flamed out in the playoffs last year in the first round doing the same thing that you normally do in the playoffs, and nobody gave a shit. Everybody was just like, woo, Denver, OKC in the second round. You come to Cleveland in a watered-down Eastern Conference that shows the Detroit Pistons as like the 1 seed. You're going to be the 2 seed. All of a sudden, if you guys don't get to the NBA Finals, it's a massive disappointment. Not only will you not get to the NBA Finals, there's a good chance you get bounced in the second round. And then the legacy continues. The legacy continues. Oh, man, I just don't understand. I did not see that coming. That was, as they like to say, that was not on my bingo. That was not on my bingo card. James Harden asking for a trade? Not on my bingo card. Oh, man, stunned by it. But that's kind of the trade slop for right now. I don't know if you guys have anything else in the chat. Oh, we got a dog opening. Let's go. Here we go. You want to see a dog jump? Let's see if we do. Let's see if we get a dog jump. Come on, Bandino. Oh, he knows we're watching now. He's looking at me. Yeah, he's looking at me. He's not going to do it. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Oh, that's an old dog. That's an old dog. He's almost 10. Any other slop you guys have for me in the chat here? Besides James Harden, Giannis, I don't. It sounds like I was listening to Zach Lowe made it sound like a more of a 50-50 on Mr. Antetokounmpo. Will he stay or will he go now? But again, Jake Fisher reporting he feels like he's going to stay. I've been leaning he's going to stay too. I think that's just a lot of hard work to make that work. Although the report from Windhorse yesterday, as Galactic just said, Minnesota, and that's a good pivot to last night's game too, is that Minnesota is trying to Minnesota is trying to figure out a third or a fourth team to make this Giannis thing happen. And you know what? Minnesota played last night like they thought some people were going to get traded because somehow they lost to the Memphis Grizzlies. So, according to, I think Shams with one of the most like ridiculous reports. By the way, can we talk about Shams for a second? You got to step it up, man. When a Woj bomb happened, the earth shook. The earth shook when a Woj bomb happened. Shams now is dropping sham slams that are like, reports now. Milwaukee has 3 different options with Giannis. They can trade him for picks. They can trade him for players. Or a combination of the both. Thanks, Shams. Thanks, man. That's really good, dude. That's really good. But it sounds like Miami was the combo of picks and players. Stan Love, rock hard in the chat. And it was, what was the team? Was it? I forget what the team was with all the picks. And then Minnesota was going to be players based. And in the Minnesota one, I think you're going to see it would have to be like it would have to be some Randall. It would have to be probably a McDaniels. And then you'd have to throw in like Dillingham, who, I mean, again, well, you want to take an L on something. The Dillingham stuff is rough. Just a swing and a miss. But if we look at that game last night, I mean, Memphis, like, yeah, they got Jaren Jackson Jr. back in this one, but good Lord, look at this, 137, 128. Let's look at this starting 5 for the Grizz here. Also, it's officially Ty Jerome season. Ty Jerome in 20 minutes, 6 for 10 from the field, 19, 8, and 6. That's efficient AF from Ty Jerome. But it was Cedric Coward, Jacques Landell, Jalen Wells, who scored over 15 points for what feels like the first time in forever. Triple J, 11 for 11 from the line. He grabbed 6 boards within JJJ math. That's like 25 boards. He had 30 and 6 in this one. And then Gigi Jackson played 21 minutes off the bench. He had 13 and 8. But for Minnesota, I mean, Julius Randle played 40 minutes, 5-14 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3. That was kind of rough there. Jaden McDaniels honestly had a good game. He had 29. Ant-Man, 39 points on 13 for 27 shooting. But just like no defensive heart there from that game. Refs were bad, plus T-Wolves were bad to start. Yeah, I mean, they were getting cooked early. I actually thought this was going to be a real blowout game, and we weren't going to see Anthony Edwards in the fourth quarter, but was surprised to see Ant make a little bit of a run there late in the game. But anyways, Minnesota continues to do this where I feel like they play up to their competition, like they can go beat the Thunder on any given night, and then play down to their competition and lose a weird road one. I mean, Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle were questionable all day. The spread, to me, indicated one of them, if not both of them, were going to sit. I was stunned to see both of them play, and then I was stunned to see that score. I can't believe Memphis won that game. So I do think Minnesota, whether it's Giannis or just like finding a point guard, they are just so desperate for a point guard. And I wonder, too, Kobe White's been rather disappointing. Even when he's been healthy, we haven't seen like a lot of really good Kobe White games. And I just wonder if the price has come down a little bit on Kobe White, that maybe they can go poach him from the Bulls. However, Chicago probably is like, hey, man, we could have done better for Kobe, so we're not going to move off of him. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys have any other guard options that you think, but like, you know, Dante playing 34 minutes and Ant playing 40 minutes, and those are basically your point guards. The Conley stuff just isn't working anymore. He played 14 minutes, had 0 points and 2 assists. He was a minus 13 out there. Bones Highland played 7. I mean, Bones Highland honestly has been playing better than Mike Conley. And then Rob Dillingham is just straight up DNPing at this point, you know? So I don't know what they do. Colin Sexton, I know regulators just desperately danging some wolves. Kobe can act as a point guard, Stan. He can act as a point guard. We've seen him do it before. And that would be an upgrade over the Conley, Dante DiVincenzo point guard minutes. And anyway, Sexton, also not really a point guard, more of the Kobe White build, but I do think Sexton could at least help. I don't think I want to trade for Sexton and have him start as my guard, but I do think he could make a little bit more sense. Like he could make sense as somebody to come off the bench and just eliminate. That is an upgrade over Bones Highland. That is an upgrade over Mike Conley. And I think it would be relatively cheap. I think it would be cheap to go get somebody like a Colin Sexton. But there's not a lot of guard options, which is weird because it feels like a very deep guard league. yet not a lot of availability there. Let's take a look at the Charlotte Hornets here, who are just red hot, man. Charlotte, like if you do playoff best ball, the Charlotte picks are going to be the most fun because Charlotte just keeps winning games here. It looked like the Pelicans were going to steal one. Pelicans come out. They're up 64-49 at halftime. And then the Hornets hold them to 31 second half points, 18 in the third, 13 fourth quarter points. Zion had 14 and 11 this game, but it was Trey Murphy who had 27 and 4. Derek Queen, once again, I mean, he got up to 31 minutes. He had an insane first quarter and then kind of did nothing for the rest of the game. He's done that now twice, 16 and 8. But for the Hornets, man, LaMelo was really good. He had 24 points, 8 boards, and 5 dimes. It sounds like the Hornets are potentially trying to reunite the Ball brothers again, according to the Stein line. They've been flirting around with bringing Lonzo, 25% from 3. Lonzo Ball, 4-4-4 averages. You got to get him on that team. But LaMelo had 24, 8, and 5. Brandon Miller, 16 and 8. Connie had 17 and 9. Just good performances from Grant Williams was 16 and 9 off the bench. We got a Grant Williams sighting. Charlotte now 23 and 28. We look at these standings quickly here. They are now only one game back from the Hawks, a game and a half back behind the Chicago Bulls. It's happening, baby. Charlotte Hornets in the play-in. Let's go. I'm not even saying the Hornets would go do anything in the postseason, but sign me up for more games of Charlotte and less games of Chicago. I beg you. Let's get Chicago out of there. Please, for the love of God. Let's get the Bulls out of there. I'm done with the Bulls. But they're just right there. They play the Hawks twice over the next 6 games. Yeah, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. I want to in Atlanta, Charlotte, winner take all game would just be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun. The Rockets last night, they played some basketball. They were without Kevin Durant. Pacers kept this one tight. We'll look at tonight's schedule in a second, but just a heads up here. The Pacers play the Utah Jazz tonight, and that is a true crack the Ben Folds 5. Battle of who could care less, because those two teams are trying to tank aggressively, right? We've already seen Utah rule out Keontae. They've already ruled out Yusuf Nurkic. I wouldn't be surprised if Indy, when the report comes out, it's going to be like a Siakam, Nemby, all of those guys sit. I don't know. We'll wait and see. But Houston without KD, take your pants off. It's time to goon. Şengün, 39 points, 16 boards, and 5 dimes in this one. He was 13 for 25 from the field. He got to the line 18 times. Reed Shepherd was awesome in the first half and then took a dump in the second half. He had 11 and 4, I think, at halftime and finished with that. Amin Thompson, 16, 11, and 7. He had 4 stocks as well. Jabari had 19. This is just one of those games on the road without your best player where you just hope you get the W and move on, and that's what they did. That is what they did there, 118-114. On the Pacers side of stuff, Siakam, like if you want to make a case for Siakam playing, he only played 33 minutes last night. Nemby only played 32, so maybe they're good to go. Siakam, man, I like watching Spicy P play. The fact that he's on a bad team and he's still just like grinding away. I love Spicy P, man. 27, 5, and 4 in this one. Nemby was disappointing. Nesmith had 17. And then Benny Math. Oh, Benny Math came off the bench. I didn't even notice that. Benedict Mathurin played 34 minutes. He got hot. 25, 5, and 4. Gun to head, if I had to pick one of the Pacers to not play basketball tonight, I think it would be Benedict Mathurin. He's just back from injury, played a ton of minutes last night, could see him sitting, maybe everybody else goes. Let's go to this last game of the night here, and then we can look at tonight's action. So the 76ers, they played the Clippers. Clippers were without James Harden again because James Harden, to miss 2 games for personal reasons and request the trade is just nasty business. I'm pissed about Harden all over again. This game got out of hand. They outscored him by 19 in the first quarter and then just kind of held serve the rest of the way. Kawhi had 29 and 6 in 31 minutes. Everybody else sucked. On the Sixers side of stuff, Embiid and Maxey continue to be awesome. Maxey had 29, 6, and 5 in 36 minutes. Embiid had 24 and 5 in 32 minutes. No Paul George, obviously. Now, this brings us to tonight, okay? This brings us to tonight. So the 76ers played last night. They play the Warriors tonight, and then they play the Lakers on Thursday. For you math dorks out there, that's 3 games in 4 nights. There is just no way. There's just no way Joel Embiid plays tonight, right? So let's look at the schedule. I mean, let's look at the lines for tonight. Try to get a feel for it. But I would have to think Embiid sits tonight. Now, Steph Curry has already been ruled out. I want to start with this game. It's a late game. Starts at 10 p.m. Golden State is now favored by 3.5. This opened at 2.5. Now, Vegas has been wrong on this shit so many times. But can I ask the question? If you know Steph Curry's not playing basketball, right? If you know Steph Curry's not playing basketball for the Golden State Warriors, that means it's like Moses Moody, Brandon Pajemski, Draymond Green, Guy Santos, and then I don't know who. Is Kuminga back? No, he's still out, right? Is Kuminga, that's low-key a little bit important. We know Jimmy Butler. Kuminga's already ruled out, okay? So like it's Geek, maybe Quentin Post, maybe DeAnthony Melton. And so let's just assume Embiid is out. Let's assume Embiid right out the bat. The Warriors are favored by 3.5, though. If you took Embiid off the court, wouldn't you still think the 76ers should be favored against that Warriors team with no Steph Curry? Now, maybe Vegas is just wrong. But the old tinfoil hat's got me thinking, should we be careful with Tyrese Maxey too? I don't know. If you guys subscribe to Bagels with Locks in this morning's post, a little dog bowl hunting, because we're going to talk a little bit about that here in a moment. I dropped a link into the chat. Might be VJ Edgecombe night. Galactus said, and did you see the guy's pick with the Curry knees, the injection flaster every second game? Oh, yeah, I did. I didn't see the pick, but I did see a report on that. The Steph stuff sucks. So anyways, that to me is the biggest question mark tonight. Let's go through some of these games quick. The other one was Jazz-Pacers. Pacers favored by 3.5. I don't know what to do with that. Nuggets and Pistons. That's going to be some fun basketball. Excited for Nuggets and Pistons tonight. Jokic played just about 30 minutes here in his second game. I imagine he's north of 30 tonight. I think Christian Brown questionable tonight, which is kind of fun. That might limit a little of Peyton Watson's ceiling, but not really worried about that. Just Jamal and Jokic having fun. Pistons are Karis LeVert's like low-key missed a ton of games lately. He's questionable tonight. Other than that, that's fine. The other real, we can go in order. The Knicks and the Wizards. I hate Karl Anthony Towns, but there's no Mitchell Robinson, no Deuce McBride in this one. I think if there was ever a good cat spot, it's probably tonight. And then the Wizards still without Trae Young, Trey Johnson, Cam Whitmore, Tristan Vukcevic, and Anthony Gill is questionable. So Alex Sarr is fun. Keyshawn George is fun. I would just one little pause here on Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr has been going nuts lately, and because he's good, but part of it is they've been without any backup big. Marvin Bagley did come back recently, so I think Bags kind of impacts that minute ceiling just a little bit. So maybe it's closer to 33 minutes instead of 36. I don't know. Lakers and Nets. Do we have Austin Reeves, or is he still questionable? Austin Reeves is questionable, so is Bronny James. Everybody else good to go. For where Brooklyn is pretty healthy. Noah Clowney's going to return. It's just Haywood Highsmith supposedly missing these games. Yeah, lots of games tonight before the trade deadline. I know. That's the other scary thing, right? Is like if any trade happens, all of a sudden you see a bunch of dudes ruled out. Hawks and Heat. So this is the one I'm struggling the most with, right? Miami's favored by 3.5. You have Norman Powell is questionable. So is Nikola Jovic. Terry and Tyler are out, right? This is the highest total on the slate. And right now, in Underdog, 3 guys are getting drafted from this game. It's Jalen Johnson, Bam Adebayo, and then Dyson Daniels. No Onyeka Okongwu. Kristaps Porzingis is questionable. Maybe he comes back. Norman Powell's questionable. So I don't think there's a right answer to this, but I don't know what to do with it. It feels like we should have better, like this should be a place to attack tonight, and I don't know who to attack with. I kind of want Norman Powell to be ruled out. Maybe we can mess around with some Jaime Jaquez. Pelly Larson's put up good games recently, but the return of Davion Mitchell slows that down. Andrew Wiggins is vibeless. I'm not doing Andrew Wiggins. Then we get the Celtics and the Mavs. Ooh, line went closer to Dallas. We might have the return of Najee Marshall tonight. PJ Washington already ruled out. Brandon Williams is questionable. Najee might have to play a ton of minutes. Jaylen Brown, Cooper Flagg, those are fun. Derek White will once again project like a top 18 play and then disappoint us. That's it. That's it for that game. I will say, like, if you want to mess around with just some pick'ems and stuff, the Myers Cada overs are kind of fun. Dallas has been lacking against the bigs. Speaking of bigs, Daniel Gafford played 28 minutes in the last game. And just a little Danny Gafford note, little Danny Gafford, little Gaffy Duck. This might be the last time to showcase Gafford here in a decent matchup against Boston with a team like Boston who might want to trade for Daniel Gafford. So maybe little Gafford Cada correlation pick'em. That's a little fun. That is a little fun. All right, let's keep going. Chicago Bulls, the Bulls and the Cucks. Man. This should be a great fantasy game. I don't know who's going to try to win games in this one. Jalen Smith has missed the last couple of games. He's questionable. Kevin Squirter's questionable. They've already ruled out Giddey, Collins, Asengwe, Sarge, Trey Jones, and then Julian Phillips is questionable. On paper, seems like a great Kobe White spot. That feels evergreen, and it has been wrong every time we do it. Who guards Cooper tonight? I would imagine... So their starting five is so Sam Hauser and Jaylen Brown probably get the start on them, would be my guess. Well, probably Jaylen Brown, not Sam Hauser. Although I wonder, do they got to start Sam Hauser. I was going to say maybe they start like Ugo or Jordan Walsh over him, but I bet we see it's probably a combo of JB, Hauser, Jordan Walsh, and Ugo when those guys are out there would be my guess. But anyways, back to Chicago. Kobe White makes sense. Vooch makes sense. I think I really like Vooch tonight. On the Bucks side, they're without Torian Prince, Giannis, KPJ, and Gary Harris. So Ryan, listen, I'm never playing Miles Turner because I'm an adult, okay? I'm an adult. I'm not playing Miles Turner. I'm a grown-up. Why not Kobe White? Because Kobe White has been bad. That's why. So Kobe White, last 4 games, he had against the Lakers, played 31 minutes, had 23, 5, and 6. Against the Pacers, he had 14 and 4 in 31 minutes. Against the Heat, he had 14, 8 and 4 in 31 minutes. And then against the Heat again, played 30 minutes and had 16 and 4. He's just been pretty bad with pretty ceilingless. Oh, and why not Derek White on Cooper? Sorry. I just don't think I don't think he's big enough for Cooper. I don't know. Maybe Derek White. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But yeah, I actually, like you were talking about Ayo DeSumo in the chat. I think Ayo's fun. I think I might just lean into the Vooch stuff. And on the Buck stuff, yeah, just Ryan Rollins and Miles Turner. That's where the fun's at. That is where the fun is at. Orlando and OKC, I kind of buried the lead here. Oklahoma City's on the road. No, I'm sorry. They're at home against Orlando. They listed SGA questionable, Chet Holmgren questionable, Isaiah Hartenstein questionable, Alex Caruso doubtful, and then A.J. Mitchell and Jalen Williams are out. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal for tonight. I don't know what to do with that. I'm just playing SGA in. I'm just playing him in. If you think Hartenstein's out and Chet's in, that's fun. If you think both Chet and Hartenstein are out, I think the other Jalen Williams is a pretty fun swap. I don't think you can draft him. If you think all of those guys are going to miss, Aaron Wiggins should play 40 minutes. I don't know what to do with it, though. I'm going to be light on the Magic guys just because they have defenders for days. Look at that hair, bro. They got defenders for days. So I'm not really excited about any of those guys. We already did 76ers Warriors. And then, because Adam Silver's the terrorist, we got Suns and Trailblazers at 11 p.m. Eastern. So you won't know until like 2 in the morning if you want a dog bowl seat. And honestly, even then, you might not know until a couple days later. I like this game. Your guess is as good as mine. We already know Drew Holiday's questionable. Denny Avdi is doubtful. Scoot Henderson's ruled out, but he's getting really, really close to coming back. That's kind of fun. And then, I don't know, what else? Do you trust Shaedon Sharpe against Dylan Brooks? No Denny, possibly no Drew. Means Shaedon should be doing a lot. But I feel like he's let us down a lot of times in this spot. Klingon's been like relatively consistent, by the way, so I am kind of interested in Klingon. I don't know. You know what we're gonna do now? Let's let's build some ranks here on Underdog. Which, by the way, if it's your first time here, do me a favor, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna focus on Underdog fantasy sports here for the last like 10 minutes. If you haven't followed us on Substack or on our podcast too, go do all that shit as well, please and thank you. All right, let's do. Is it this one? Is it? I think it. Yeah, this is the dog bowl. Let's do this here. Let's jump into there, and then let's get the borders up. Let's get the not those borders though. We can take those borders down. You know what I'm saying? Let's not get political this morning. All right, let's share screen. Let's get into the Underdog app. Let's build some ranks together. We can have some fun with it. We can have some fun. Build some ranks. Let's enhance. Let's enhance. What does that look like for you guys here? Okay, so we're going to build some ranks here on Underdog. Let's mess around. So I think it's the first three are pretty easy. We just go Luka, Jokic, JJ. I think I'm going to put Cade next and then SGA there. I'm fine either way with this. Again, I'm going to play SGA in, but for safety this morning, might as well just put Cade ahead of him. I wouldn't be surprised either if we have if we get the OKC news around shoot around. That would be nice. Now, this is what I'm freaking out about. That line moving again another point towards Golden State. Golden State 3.5. We already went over who's available for Golden State. I don't think it's crazy to say both Embiid and Maxey sit tonight. Maxey's been logging mega minutes, 36 last night. I think it's too risky to fade Maxey this early in the day, but I hope I'm light. So I'm going to put Maxey next, then JB. I love Cat tonight. I mentioned that. I'm going to put Cooper ahead of Paolo. I'm honestly going to put Bam ahead of Paolo. Let's just live a little. And then, so I'm nervous about this Utah-Indianapolis game. Indiana game, excuse me. Pacers favored by 3.5. I think we get some weird stuff. No Nurk and no Keontae, so the Jazz should cook, right? The Jazz, Lowry should be fine. Let's actually look at the Jazz in general. Did I miss 6th round Jazz? So no Nurk, no Elijah Harkless, no Walker Kessler, no Keontae, no Niang. Can we play Ace Bailey? Probably not. Can we play Collier? I mean, Collier might be a sick 6th round click. All right, we're gonna click Lowry next because he's gonna. Yeah, we gotta get ahead of Lowry. Lowry at 12 is fine. We're gonna go Lowry there. I'm honestly going to put Spicy P ahead of Brunson, and then we'll just go Brunson, Sar, MPJ, Jamal. We'll put Embiid 18. I'm not going to click him there, but just to get him in. All right, this is where I think it's a little weird. Guys, we can click, I know it's 2026 and he's old. Can we just click Ryan Rollins and Bobby Portis against the Bulls ahead of LeBron against the Nets? I feel like LeBron is due for a ceiling game, but is it that crazy? Maybe we do this. Ryan Rollins, LeBron, then Bobby. Let's do that. I want Vooch, then Keyshawn, then Jalen Duren. I think that's what I want to do. I just want Vooch to, if I'm not going to, somebody's going to win in this Chicago matchup. If I don't think it's going to be Kobe White, we might as well click Nikola Vucevic, right? We might as well. After that, again, I'm not a child, so I'm not going to be clicking Miles Turner. I'll click Derek White next. I think I want to go Brooks, then Chet. I'll get some Chet here. I don't know what to do with Miles, OG, and Nembhard. I'm nervous Nembhard just doesn't play. But again, maybe we lean into it's Benedict Mathurin not playing and the other Pacers do play since the Pacers are still favored by 3.5. Maybe we do that. And then I think we want Sharp, we want Klingon, we want Dyson. I'm going to rank Denny just because we'll keep him 36. But here are some other scrolls that I don't love. I mean, not scrolls. Des and Bane. I'm just not doing the Des and Bane stuff. I know the Thunder might be shorthanded, but you know who's still out there? Lou Dort, Case, and Wallace, Grayson Allen, I mean, maybe. Should Grayson Allen be considered? We know Portland plays fast. Pajemski, man, God, I don't want to draft Pajemski. We'll put him down there. Let's find some other names. I'm not that interested in Kobe White. I am in Collier and VJ, though. I mentioned that Collier, VJ. We should probably get Najee Marshall on this list and Kelly Oubre on this list. Now, one other name that would be kind of sick that I don't think we should do is Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith, if he goes and you think, I don't know, that could be kind of fun. Let's do a draft. And then we can get out of here. Does anybody have any Utah thoughts? Can we do the Collier thing? Can somebody tell me, can we do the Isaiah Collier thing? I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? We're waiting for 5 more. That's fun. All right, so just for the rest of the week, just a heads up, NBA Bits back tomorrow. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll have some more fun on Thursday for Dog Bowl hunting again. The next one's on Thursday. We'll do some stuff. I was going to do something tomorrow night, but we can't. You want to know why? I'm going to see James Acaster at the Beacon, I think. Is it the Beacon or the Town? I can't remember which theater I'm going to. But shout out James Acaster. I'm very excited to see James Acaster in New York. That's a big fan of his. Forgot that was tomorrow night. My wife texted me while the show was going on. Totally forgot. Excited to go see some live comedy. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. And then Friday, Live Before Lock, obviously, and the NBA bit as well. We'll be having some fun with that. Is Jay Will questionable? No. Not that I saw. Did I miss that? No. J Dub is out. Topich is out. Sorber's out. AJ Mitchell's out. Oh, he is. I fucking missed that. Oh. Good catch. Who was that? Was that DJP? DJP, good catch. Wow, that is a wrinkle. Man, Kenrich Williams might be playing a lot. If all of those guys are out, he's going to have to play like a ton of minutes. Interesting. Good catch. Good catch. All right, Matt. I feel like I should have proofread this first just in case this is anything crazy. Maddie says, you know how MLB players miss time for World War II in Korea, and historians look back and project what their cumulative stats would be without missed time? Is the NBA equivalent playing for tanking team? That's good. That's good. Like Lowry Markkinen is our generation's Ted Williams. Is that what you're saying? Oh, we got our first 101 of the night. Let's go. Let's go. Little Luka Magic. Little Luka Magic against the Nets. Only concern here is this game's over at halftime, but the good news is the Lakers kind of suck. Like, are they good enough to beat a team by 30? Maybe. All right, let's have some fun with this. I think people are going to be tempted to click Embiid here as early as late round 2, round 3. I've seen him go round 4. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Like, hey, if you get 5th round Embiid and he gets ruled in, congrats, man. This spread is crazy. The 3.5 makes no sense to me. Honestly, this is what I tell you what, if they ruled out Maxey and Embiid, I would still bet the 76ers money line. I would. I don't think Golden State should be favored against anybody but Utah, Brooklyn, and Washington the rest of the way if Steph's not playing. If he's not playing. All right, here we go. We're going to wrap with this draft. Again, like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. This was a fun one. I feel like we've had some spirited shows lately. I don't know how you guys feel, but we're cooking. Yeah, Milwaukee, maybe Milwaukee. With no, I don't know. Ryan Reynolds would be the best player on the court. My hot take, though, for tonight. Oh, Sanjay Rich in the 2-hole. There you go. My hot take for tonight, I think Jalen Johnson might be the highest scoring player on the slate. I think it's Jalen Johnson night. I think that is going to be the winning team, is going to have a JJ. I've got one Jalen Johnson. Let me go find it real quick. I've done 7 so far this morning. Here it is. Jalen Johnson, Cooper Flagg, Jalen Brunson, Bobby Portis, Derek White. And then like a fish, I took Jaime Jaquez in the last round. I got a Cade JB start, too, with Siakam Rollins, but then I took Kobe White. I talked myself into some Kobe White this morning like a true loser. Like a true loser. All right, we got a Jokic. Yeah, nothing weird here. I also think, man, little spicy for Staps being back. Well, first of all, we don't know if he's back, right? He's questionable. And second of all, he's going to play maximum 18 minutes, right? We don't know how well the dude can even breathe at this point. He hasn't played in a while. And they're still without Onyeka. I still think it's going to be JJ. I mean, obviously, Luka is awesome. So, like, he's going to be, I mean, of course he's the favorite to score the most. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Also, man, if you think Maxey is good to go without Embiid, The Maxi JB starts, I think, are so fire too. Maxi JB starts are really fire. There we go. Shout out Chef Dude for taking Embiid there at 10. Hell yeah. Would love little Bam Paolo here. Bam Paolo. So what's Sanjay Rich gonna do? Maybe my ranks influenced you. Man, my allergies just went nuts in the last couple of minutes. Can we get a Luka Magic? Yeah, after this pick we can. Yeah, I hear that. I just still think he's going to do it. Paolo Lowry, all right. This is a fun start. I mean, I don't want Paolo, but I'll take him at 13. And yeah, we'll get a little Luka Magic here. We'll get a little Luka Magic. You haven't done a drop in a while. Let's do it. Let's do it. Where is it? Luka Magic. Love a little Luka Magic in the morning. Love a little Luka Magic in the morning. Man, just a ruining that JJ Embiid, that JJ start with Joel Embiid. I think right here is the first time I'd pick Embiid. Pick 25. Joel Embiid falls to pick 25, I will take him. Because that's deep enough where swaps are close. I like Alex Sarr. Sanjay Rich, this is a fun start. This is a vibe start. Bam at 11. Sarr at 14. I like Sarr ahead of Brunson, too. I mean, the Knicks have really been ceilingless. Can we look at the Knicks here? When's the last time Jalen Brunson has gotten over 45? Not in the last 5. And then, I do think Towns could put up 60 tonight against Washington with no Mitch Rob. I do think that is in play. Rollins at 16. Okay, Cade, Towns, Rollins. That's fun, too. It's weird. I don't want to pay up for Towns. I really don't. I don't want to pay up for Towns, but I'd be very excited if he fell. I'd be very excited if he fell. We got a Michael Porter Jr. at the turn. Who's that going to go with, Bobby Lobby or Vucci, man? I would love for a Bobby or a Vooch here. I think Vooch has some serious ceiling tonight, too. Like, I'm not scared of that defense. Yeah, I love Sarr, man. Sarr's a fun player. All right, FF Link, bleeding out the clock here. Goes with Spicy P at Siakam. This is a pretty good... this is probably ADP focus, but JB, Maxey, MPJ, Siakam. Like, not doing anything weird. That's a fun first 4 clicks, though. Like, I feel like we get 50 out of JB. I think, like, as long as Luka doesn't go for 75, all of those teams are there. Talib said was getting Harden and the Clippers lost their leverage already. We talked about this at the top of the show, man. Why would Cleveland do it? Why would Cleveland do it? Why would they? There's, like, no need. There's no need to do it. Yeah, Sanjay, I saw you pulled up Cat early. You got Cat at 7, right? I just can't take him ahead of JB, but I think I have him 8. I think I have him 8 there. Let's see. All right, we got... Okay, Keyshawn here is fine. Man, I'm getting a lot of Derek White this morning. You know what? All of those Q tags, and I'm actually going to pull Chet up here. That other J Will Q tag is interesting. Hold on 1 second. Now, because if I Hard and J Will miss, now I'm kind of excited. Let's see. Yeah, I have him and JB flipping back and forth. That makes sense. Cavs would only do it because of the aprons. I don't think they're... If the Cavs are doing it because of the aprons and not doing it to... If Cleveland is not trying to win a championship now, then they should just trade all of their guys. The Eastern Conference is so watered down. If they are making a financial, frugal move here at the deadline... instead of bolstering their roster to get out of the Eastern Conference and make the NBA Finals, then fucking trade everybody. Trade everybody. You can't move off Garland for Harden for a financial move. It's malpractice. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Honestly, if I was a Cleveland fan, I'd be so pissed. All right, let's isolate. Wow, getting Derek White in the 6th is pretty fun. So okay, who after Chet you went Dylan Brooks, Miles Turner, Shaden Sharp at 28. The Sharp stuff feels tricky. All right, I like Klint Kong. I tell you what though, if Denny's there with that last pick, I will take Denny. I just will, and then we'll swap. No one has weighed in on the Isaiah Collier thing, man. Is he going to play like 35 minutes tonight? How many minutes did Clayton play last game? He played 17. Dude, Collier might be a sick pick, man. Taking in less salary. Garland barely plays in when he does. So wait, you're telling me you would rather, as a Cav fan, you would rather have the guy that famously sucks in the playoffs under all different circumstances. I watched Darius Garland. I watched the Cavs. I watched the Cavs. I know listen, I spent the first we'll just take Denny here. I spent the first 25 minutes of the show talking about this. If you want to talk to me about moving off of Darius Garland, because the backcourt of Darius and Garland and the backcourt of Darius and Garland and Donovan Mitchell are too small and not efficient enough, not effective enough to win in the postseason. Because Darius Garland, I don't think we know if Darius Garland is good in the postseason yet. We know he hasn't been healthy in the postseason. And that's the knock on Darius Garland. The dude can't stay healthy. But if you're saying that's the move you're going to make is to go from Darius Garland to James Harden, then congrats, man. Congrats. Enjoy your first round win. And then I hope the Celtics play you in the second round. I will be taking whoever they play in this. You know who I would take over that team? If it is Harden and Spite on the same team, give me I hope they don't play the Charlotte Hornets in the first round. I hope they don't. Because James Harden does not show up. Yeah. Okay, but that is trading a serial killer for a serial killer. You know what I'm saying? You're trading dog shit for human shit. Your argument of Darius Garland being bad in the playoffs is to then go get someone else. The only person who's choked more than Darius Garland in the playoffs is James Harden. We've seen him do it on multiple teams in multiple conferences. He's done it as the number 1. He's done it as the number 2. He's done it as the number 3. Yeah, compare brother, we don't need to compare the stats. We don't need to. Show me. Brother, you were telling me to watch stats. You're looking at box scores. Show me. Hey, who did the Clippers get out of the first round of the fucking playoffs last year? No, they didn't. Hey, yeah, congrats, James Harden. Game 1, 76ers against the Celtics. You scored 40 points. Game 5, you scored like 46. Congrats. Did you get out of that postseason? No, you didn't. You didn't. So if your argument is Garland for Harden, then just go pick up different pieces of dog crap. Because it's the same thing. You want to go make a move for at least with Garland, he's 26 and we haven't seen him healthy yet. Harden, we've seen skinny Harden. We've seen fat Harden. We've seen young Harden. We've seen old Harden. What are we doing? Yeah, man. Cleveland's not, I'm disappointed in the fan base. That's crazy. I think we've seen beardless Harden in college, right? In college, yeah. People are all in there. I just can't imagine trading for James Harden. Hey, hold on. I'm with you on this. I already said, if you want to move off Garland to go get a piece to make you playoff ready now, I'm here. I'm here with you. I'm standing. I'm here with you, man. But you can't do it for James Harden. You can't take it. Why? Darius Garland still has trade value. Go get somebody that can fucking help you. Why James Harden? Oh, I just don't understand. Go get somebody that can help. Oh, man. That's incredible. We'll close there. That was fun. Hey, good luck tonight in the dog bowl. And hey, listen, I know I'm yelling at you. Thanks for hanging out, though. That was fun. That was fun. Thanks for hanging out. Hit the subscribe. Come back. Hang out again. We'll be back here tomorrow. Oh, my God. I know. But you're taking the guy that has this is like hiring SBF to run your new crypto startup. We already have the resume. We already have it. It's not like James Harden is 25 and we don't know yet. We already have it. I'm not overvaluing him. We already have the resume. We've seen him. We saw a fucking Josh Smith-led comeback with Houston, not James Harden. We've seen him crap out in Brooklyn in the postseason. We've seen him crap out in Philly in the postseason. We've now seen it happen with the Los Angeles Clippers. We already have the resume. What are we doing? Oh, my God. James Harden, grow up.